Hello everyone, and welcome to another video talking geeky stuff with me, Tensi. And today's topic is video games that I want to make a comeback. I'm going to start off with my favorite video games company. It's Nintendo, of course. You've seen my previous videos, I mentioned that. But overall, I'm a big overall gamer, first and foremost. But but first, I just want to talk about Nintendo games that I want to see make a comeback. So I want to start off with Golden Sun. I think it'd be right time for that to come back, at least in either a remake or a continuation, because JRPGs is having a nice boom. You know, it's doing really well. Or a lot of JRPGs coming out in the last few years is selling well, making a lot of money. People seem to be into it, so it'd be a great time for Nintendo to bring that back, I think. And I think that it seems like Nintendo's on a big roll in the last few years. Anything that's first party related, they seem to sell 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 million copies. So I definitely think they should definitely do a Golden Sun. And then, of course, I would like to see Advance Wars. I love those games on the DS. Me and my friend used to play that a lot. And I think it would lend itself really well on the Switch, considering it's a handheld game. I know that Nintendo made a kind of like I won't say a direct sequel, but similar, called Battalion Wars. There was two games, one for the GameCube and the other one was for Nintendo Wii. And both games were pretty good. I didn't mind those. Wouldn't mind seeing another one. But I knew they didn't really sell that well, so probably won't see those. But I would love to see Advance Wars. And then you got F-Zero. I'm so surprised that F-Zero, a full-on F-Zero game, missed 2 generations. The Wii U. I don't even think it came out for the Nintendo 3DS. I mean, it'd be a great time to release it now. I really do. I mean, F-Zero GX was amazing. I loved it on the GameCube. Hard as nails, but it was a great game. Fast, 60 frames, nice design, futuristic, good multiplayer. On the subject of racing games, I think that 1080 and Wave Race should get a look into as well. Wouldn't it be good to have, say, Wave Race? Say, for example, the next Direct, they'll announce Wave Race for a summer game, June, July, for example. And then a new F-Zero for the autumn, September, October or something. And then a new 1080 for like late November, early December game. That'd be awesome. I know a lot of people are looking forward to another game as well, which I did get the DS version. I thought the controls was a bit hit and miss sometimes, was Kid Icarus. And in order to get another Kid Icarus, you need Sakura. I forgot his name now. Oh my god, my mind blanking out. How can I forget one of the greatest games developers of all time? Massimiro. Can't even pronounce his name. You know what? Sakurai, the guy who created, who not created, but the guy in charge of Super Smash Bros. Now he needs to stop making that, or he needs to pass the reins over to someone else. But the problem with him, he's such a workaholic, he's a perfectionist, he likes to oversee everything. So I don't think we see a new Kid Icarus if Sakura is still doing Smash Bros. So not only that, I think he needs to stop, because once the next fighter pass is finished, he needs to stop just to take a rest. I think give him at least a year's rest, and then let him do either a Kid Icarus or a new IP. I'll tell you what game I would love to see is Pilot Wings. I love the Super Nintendo version. I love this in 64. I know we had a little Pilot Wings on one of the Wii games. Is it Wii Resort? Little sub game. But I really want a full game. Kind of like Nintendo's version of Flight Simulator, but kind of more, not as serious, of course. Nintendo always have their own twist to it. And I think that I wouldn't see after, I think another game that definitely would be a great success today if they did it right would be Sin and Punishment. I remember seeing that on N64, loved it. Then of course on the Nintendo Wii, loved it again. They didn't really sell too well. That's probably why they probably won't get another look into it. I think it was developed by Treasure. Treasure are known for their shooting games, so I would love to see that. And considering those kind of games, shooting, you got Nier Automata, is that how you pronounce it? Those kind of games that has, coming back, kind of like the Bayonettas. If they did it in that kind of similar vein to that, I think Sin and Punishment would go down well, would really do well. Then you got Punch Out. I would say out the whole list here, I would say a Punch Out is probably the most likely to get a new game once they sort out all the, the stereotype thing. Once they sort that out, but I think Punch Out is probably the highest, most likely to get another one. And then you got Earthbound. I just threw in there, also known as Mother. Out of all these games here, I would say Earthbound and Pilot Wings and Sin and Punishment is probably the least to get a new edition. But hey, here's hoping, huh? And then you got some third party games I want to see continue. I want Capcom to do a more Beautiful Joe. I love the character. I had Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 on the GameCube, and then PS2. And then I think I got them for PS3 as well. They were great games. I'd love to see him continue that. And Onimusha, that needs to come back. I mean, Devil May Cry is doing well. Resident Evil is doing well. I can imagine a new Onimusha game using the RE engine. Fantastic. I would love to see that. While we're on a similar subject, Dino Crisis. I know there's been heavily rumored that Capcom is working on the Dino Crisis, but that needs to come back. And then another one is Okami, one of Capcom best games. I know they've done like so many versions of it. I think I've got almost every single version. I loved it. I don't want to see a remake. I mean, they've done a HD version. Game is fantastic. I want them to continue that. If there's a way to continue, of course, make a sequel or expand the universe a bit more. As you can tell, the top is all Capcom games. Really, I want to see a Breath of Fire, continuing story of that. I used to love those RPGs. While we're on our RPG subject, Grandia, I want them to continue Grandia, the universe, and then Skies of Arcadia. I actually want them to remake this. Sega needs to remake it. There was another game which I really liked on the Dreamcast was Evolution. They had 2 games on the Dreamcast. I actually liked it. It's very cute graphics. Mechanic was pretty simple, but I liked it. I really liked it. It was very underrated. And I would love to see them continue the story or remake them. I mean, they didn't really sell so well, so probably got a very small chance they remake that or continue the story. And then I want to see Outrun. Used to love Outrun back in the arcades back then when you played the simulator, the car moves. Sega was king back then in the arcades. The last time I played an Outrun game was on 360? Was it 360 or the one before that? Anyway, they need to do Outrun. That's what I'm saying. And then another one is a Sega IP. It's Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio. I think there's only. I remember I had both of them on a Dreamcast. Loved the graphics. I mentioned this before that once they came out, I remember for that year or two, every other company that had the game, it was cel shaded. I mean, it started that trend. Everybody just wanted to do cel shading graphics, but of course, none of them were better than Jet Set Radio. I'm telling you, man. Sometimes Sega is. I used to love Sega. I mean, Sega was always my back in the day anyway. Sega versus Nintendo. But I used to love them as well. But it's just sometimes that I don't know. Sometimes their decision making is baffling. They're sitting on so many good IPs, and yet they don't do nothing about it. I mean, in this day and age where internet is everywhere, they must know that fans want their games. For example, like Skies of Arcadia, Jet Set Radio. They must know that there is money to be made, right? They don't have to develop themselves, just license the games out and get another developer to make it. So I'm really hoping that Sega really get their thumb out their arse really and do something about their IPs. Well, anyway, thank you for staying this long. And please like this video if you like it, and let me know what games you'd like to see come back, either a remake or continuing the story. Also, please consider subscribing to see or to hear me talk more geeky stuff. And I'd like to say thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. And please stay safe. Until next time, goodbye.